Hi, Dr. White. It's me, Parisa. I just wanted to explain a little further my ESL curriculum. So I'm going to take you step by step and tell you how I would use this curriculum in an ESL classroom if I were to teach one. So in the first step, context of the teaching situation, the location that I used for this situation is the location where I'm currently doing my student teaching. So that is Durant Road Middle School, which is located in Raleigh, North Carolina. I use the students that I'm working with in my ESL classroom. So that is approximately 13 students. 9 of them are beginning level students and 4 of them are intermediate level students. Of those 13 students, 10 of them are female and 3 are male. So that gives you a little bit of understanding of the classroom dynamic and how things are working. The age range for the students are 11 to 14. Because the classroom consists of students in grades 6 through 8, that's the reasoning as to why the age range is so wide. The way that Mrs. McTurnan works with the students, because she has beginning level students as well as intermediate level students, is she creates lessons to accommodate each student. So she'll create one lesson and then she'll adapt it to the level of a beginning style learner or an intermediate style learner. So that's how she does it, and that's basically how I created my curriculum. So the educational background for the students is generally the same. All 13 of the students have been in the country for at least a year. It'll actually be a year for 12 of them in July. The other student has been in the country for about 6 years. She's from Egypt. But the reason that she's taking ESL is because her writing and reading levels are that of a beginning level learner. Her speaking is pretty proficient. She could probably be intermediate. But because she's been in the country for so long, North Carolina state mandates that she be in a mainstream language arts class. So the way that Durant Road Middle School has worked it out with her and her family is for her to take ESL as an elective. So she takes ESL as an elective, and she's in the class that I work with, which is Mrs. McTurnan's 4th period ESL 1 class. So with the exception of her, all of the other students have been in the country for about a year. Their educational background from their various countries is sort of unknown. They have some English training, but not much. So most of them came here with almost nothing in English, and Mrs. McTurnan has done a lot with them, so you can definitely tell that she's worked hard with them. The student motivation, all of them are motivated to learn English so that they can excel in the rest of their classes. This is one aspect of their academic education that can hold them back. You know, you need to know English in order to understand what the math teacher's saying, what the science teacher's saying, what the language arts teacher will say when they get into those classrooms, and what the social studies teacher is saying. So learning English is very important to all of the students, as well as interacting socially with other students in the school, other staff members, wherever they go, and even at home. Most of them, their parents or family members that they live with, use the native language in the home, but their family members are also interested in learning English, so they can even take what they've learned in school and teach it to their families, or help their families when they're out in the community and they encounter people who don't speak their native languages. So that's how that works. So the class size, again, that I'll be working with is approximately 13 students. 6 of the students are Spanish-speaking students, and they are from 5 of them are from Mexico and 1 is from Ecuador. 4 of them are French-speaking students. 3 of them are from the Congo, and 1 is from Ghana. 2 of them are Arabic-speaking students, and they're both from Egypt. and the one student speaks Thai, and he's from Thailand. So, step 2, the needs analysis of the curriculum. Each student, of course, has their own unique situation, but just a brief overview. One of the students who is from Ghana, he came to America in July of last year, and he's phenomenal. He's managed to learn the language within a year. He's intermediate. He may even go on to advanced next year. When he came to the country, the only English word he knew was the F word. But he quickly adapted and learned other words. So right now he's doing really well, but before I came down here, he had a death in his family. His aunt, whom he shared a room with since he was a young child, was killed in a car accident by a drunk driver. So as you can imagine, that really affected him academically. His mind was elsewhere. He wasn't focused on what was going on in school. So that did bother him for a little while, but now he's gotten back on track. Other than that, generally the students have at least one parent present in the home. None of them are orphans or anything like that. So they have some type of support system at home that helps them with their homework, or just even moral support in learning the language, because 9 times out of 10 these parents see learning English as an opportunity for their children's education, so they're very supportive of the students. The situation analysis, as far as Durant Road Middle School is concerned, approximately 34% of the students are on free and reduced lunch. And out of the 13 students that I am currently working with, 5 of them come from homes that are of lower socioeconomic status. The rest are average income, I guess you would say. Cultural, in the classroom, we make an effort to celebrate culture in general. I do in my language arts classes and in the ESL classroom especially, because of course when you have students from all around the world, culture is a big deal. Everybody's from someplace different. So for example, I wasn't there, but on Cinco de Mayo, Mrs. McTurnan, acknowledged the holiday, and they did a little activity just to explain with students who aren't from Mexico what the holiday is about. So little things like that make the biggest difference in the classroom environment when culture is concerned, especially when you have ESL students who are new to the country and maybe homesick, things like that. Learning styles. In order to accommodate the various learning styles, the curriculum that I designed hits on, auditory, visual learners, kinesthetic learners, all the various learning types I've made an effort to hit on so that I can accommodate each learning style and the students can gain as much from the information that I'm providing them as possible. The goals and objectives. My main goal as an ESL teacher, especially in the state of North Carolina, would be to equip the students to do well on their EOGs, which are their end of grade tests, so that they can be promoted to the next grade, and also for them to meet the proficiency level in language arts. That's the ultimate goal for Mrs. McTurnan. When students are deemed proficient, they're tracked out of the ESL classroom and they go into the mainstream language arts classroom, and that's the ultimate goal. We want them to be able to learn in a mainstream language arts classroom with other students. But a more short-term goal is for them to be able to express themselves appropriately with staff, with their peers, wherever they go. They need to be able to express themselves. So the curriculum that I designed addresses household items, weeks, months, days of the week, months of the year, as well as rooms within the household. And that's what I focused on for the first part. They also learn food items, clothing items, and occupation at the beginning, just to review them from the prior ESL class, assuming that they've taken a prior ESL class. This is a hypothetical class. But assuming that they've taken a prior ESL class. So the new information that's introduced is it starts with the bedroom items, and then it goes on to more of a reading exercises, writing exercises, things like that, to incorporate the information that they know while assessing and practicing their reading, writing, speaking, and listening skills. So that's a brief overview of the curriculum. Of course, you can look and see specifics in the Dropbox that I've put on D2L. And then for the second half of the year, the students would learn weather conditions, various modes of transportation, things along that line to bridge them into the next level. So that's basically how that will work. The main goals, like I said before, are helping the students become proficient in the language. Simple things like being able to follow the directions that I've given them or that anyone else has given them, and being able to communicate things that they need or questions they may have, things like that. So those are the ultimate goals of my ESL curriculum, and thank you very much.